Hello Mallards, it is Wednesday and I'm at Montverde for Junior 1X in the black box. There's already a lovely couch, who knows what's gonna happen, but I get to see, I think 6 shows today and 6 more shows tomorrow. There are a lot of juniors this year and I'm very excited. The 1X are over. I watched all 6 of them. They just like really clipped along. Really clipped along, more than usual, which is partially because they did the performances in the black box. So usually when I come here, the Junior 1X and the senior free plays happen on the main stage, and they have like sets and a lot of lighting and all that kind of stuff. And they focused this year on paring it down so that the directing really shines through and it's not hiding behind technical elements. Not that I know anything about doing that. And it's really cool to see sort of a bare bones production. Those of you who've watched me create theater know I love nothing more than making shows using nothing and making people imagine everything that should be there. So I personally really enjoyed this as the way that they did things. So I got to see 6 shows. Watermelon Boats was the first one, and this was Riley's directorial piece. And I actually didn't get a chance to ask Riley, and I should have. I'm curious to know, it felt like a piece that had been cut down, but I don't actually know if that's true. But it was a really beautiful story of these 2 friends at different points in their life still doing the same competition. And I thought that it was a lovely piece, and the girls performing did a fantastic job. And there were some heavy bits in there. There were heavy subject matter in almost every piece that came out. The juniors get to pick their own pieces. And so I feel like it really lends to what they're thinking of and where their brain is. And then we got to Kaya's piece, which I think was my favorite of the night. Not necessarily because of the directing, although her directing choices were incredibly strong. I think it was my favorite because I think that the script is really clever. I really liked the way that it was paced, and also it was about these 2 women like on a street, each with shady stories to tell, and they're both kind of suspicious. And I think what really hooked me was how fantastic Bella was at being just unhinged and creepy. I was glued to her from the moment that the show started and just like wanted to know what she was going to say and what was going to happen next. And so I think that that was really beautifully done, and that piece stood out. Then there was Farewell and Adieu, which was Darren's directorial piece. And it was these 2 60-year-old women who are performers at a funeral for a fellow performer and talking about like the parts that they want to have and stuff. It was very comedic, very lighthearted. I really enjoyed it. But man, watching these 2 high schoolers act like 60-year-old women, or what they think 60-year-old women act like, made me realize that I really need to apologize for every performance I did in high school where I was pretending to be somebody around 60. No judgment to the high schoolers who performed this, because definitely in high school I also treated a 60-year-old as somebody who had to be like, yeah. Anyway, those are the things you learn when you get old, and I guess this may be me officially realizing I'm old. The 4th show up was Night Mother. This was Aiden's piece. It is a show that I'm actually familiar with, and it's a heavy piece about a mother and daughter having a conversation when the daughter has decided that she's going to take her own life. And it's a tough one to navigate. So a really strong choice to make. And I thought the performers both carried that piece very well. Again, Bella doing a great job. She is so much fun to watch. I am excited to see everything that she does, and I've enjoyed her thus far in Montverde pieces, but it was nice to get to see her really chew some scenery. Well, less scenery, I guess, and really chew some script in these 1Acts. And then 5th, we had Don't Hang Up, and that was Ari's directorial piece, and her direction was really good. I thought the way that this piece was staged, the unique choices she made in lighting were really cool, and she created a very nice atmosphere. Again, for a heavy piece, a girl calling the helpline on a bottle of essentially Drano to ask how much you should drink if you don't want to be alive anymore. And just a conversation between her and the customer service agent. And it was a thoughtful and heartbreaking piece, and handled very, very well, both by the director and the performers. And I really, really enjoyed it. Like, it was a very, very well constructed and created piece. And then the final piece of the evening was the Coast Starlight, and that one was Eros's directorial piece. And it was sort of a cute love story between two people who didn't actually speak to each other on a train, but what they might have talked about, and a glimpse into their lives. The girl who is a cartoon artist, and the man who was running away from the military. And I thought that it was a really cute piece, had some really, really nice heart, and the interaction and the way that the characters like played into what they did versus what they could have done was really fun and really well created. And overall, a fantastic evening. You weren't here, which means you missed out. But I will be back tomorrow for 6 more one acts, and I can't wait to see what else the juniors do. I'll see you then.